This is a planetary forecast video covering the month of July of 2026. The month of July features several dynamic celestial events. The powerful Mars-Uranus conjunction takes place early in the month, followed up by a powerful celestial and lunar convergence that involves a lunar perigee, Mercury reaching inferior conjunction combined into the Venus-Uranus square. Then near month's end we get another powerful convergence. Venus and Mars will be in square geometry, coupled into the Jupiter-Sun conjunction, and then we get a series of retrogrades. Mercury going out of retrograde and Saturn turning retrograde provides us the foundation for the month of July, where we could see 2 earthquakes greater than 7 magnitude registered for the month. Here are the important astronomical events for the month. We get Mercury and Earth reaching aphelion, which is their furthest point of its orbit of the Sun for the year on the 1st and 6th of the month. Then the powerful time frame on the 13th, where we get the lunar perigee coupled into the Mercury position at inferior conjunction. Then towards the end of the month we get a powerful time frame where we get the lunar apogee on the 25th, and then we get Jupiter reaching a conjunction with the Sun on the 29th of the month. The important dates with the lunar declination on the 12th and 26th of July, lunar perigee as mentioned on the 13th, lunar apogee on the 25th, and the key solar elongations are taking place on the 7th and 21st of the month. Now I'm going to be talking about the important lunar perigee taking place on the 13th of the month. The Moon will be at its 4th closest point at perigee for the year, so we'll be coming out of a significant phase or supermoon strength. If we have a look at the 13th time frame, the lunar perigee is supported and enhanced by the Venus square Uranus aspect, the Mercury Inferior Conjunction, and just 2 days after we also have the Moon-Jupiter conjunction supporting the potential for major events during this time frame. Now the Moon-Jupiter conjunction will be enhanced in the month of July as it will be supported by the Moon-Pluto opposition on the same day, and it comes just after 2 days of significant celestial and lunar convergences. We have a series of very powerful earthquakes combined into the Moon-Jupiter conjunction in previous months, so I do feel that this time frame will be highly significant due to the amplification of celestial and lunar influences. We're now looking at the important lunar aspects taking place in July. We get simultaneous interactions a few times this month, where we get the Moon, Mercury and Moon-Jupiter oppositions taking place right at the beginning of the month. On the 11th we get conjunctions of the Moon with Uranus and Mars. The 15th, as mentioned, the Moon-Jupiter conjunction combined into the opposition of Moon-Pluto. Then towards the end of the month we get the opposite of this, the Moon-Pluto conjunction combined into the Moon-Jupiter opposition. We're now looking at the important planetary alignments for the month, and they are supported by planetary square aspects and geometry. Mars conjoins Uranus on the 4th, and 2 days later Sun will be squaring Saturn. The 13th, as mentioned, Sun conjoins Mercury and Venus squares Uranus on the same day. And the 29th, Venus squares Mars, supported by the Sun conjoining Jupiter position, a major month in terms of celestial interactions. Now I'm concerned about the upcoming Earth-Mercury-Sun planetary alignment being significant. Mercury reaches inferior conjunction, and we do have a history of strong earthquakes, especially around the New Zealand region, with this planetary alignment. There have been some strong earthquakes across the New Zealand mainland since 2009, and we see a strong symmetry with the lunar perigee coupled into the Earth-Mercury-Sun planetary alignment, and when they come close together we tend to get larger earthquakes, and we get that again in July of 2026, and we should pay close attention to this time frame around July 13 for another major event across the New Zealand region. If we look at the past earthquakes around the Mercury Inferior Conjunction, plus or minus 4 days, we see a strong symmetry. And since 2020 there are some strong earthquakes in this list, the largest being an 8.2 magnitude on August 1st of 2021, and that occurred just 2 days of separation between the major inferior conjunction of Mercury. Now the main worry is that July 13 we get a convergence of the lunar perigee, Venus squares Uranus geometry, as well as Mercury reaching inferior conjunction, and there has been a strong history of earthquakes across the New Zealand region with this same symmetry. Just looking at past earthquakes across the New Zealand mainland and this same symmetry of the planets, where Venus-Uranus, their square aspect combined into the lunar perigee, and the Sun-Mercury conjunction, we can see a long history of strong quakes across the region, and it could be another quake to come. Greater than 7 magnitude could be a high possibility in the month of July of 2026 based on this correlation as they all fall together and merge on the same day of July 13. So what may reduce the potential size and magnitude for this event could be the Mercury and Earth reaching aphelion, their furthest point of its orbit of the Sun, as well as the lunar perigee not being a supermoon. It will be the 4th closest approach to the Earth for the year in terms of perigee, so it won't be as strong as a supermoon, so which may limit the potential magnitude to 7 magnitude. Now going to be presenting a forecast covering the New Zealand region for the month of July, and specifically July 12 through 14, which could see a major earthquake registered to 7 magnitude, so definitely a time frame we all need to watch and closely monitor, as we do get a convergence of the Mercury reaching inferior conjunction, Venus squares Uranus, as well as the Lunar Perigee, all combined on the same day, and I do feel that this time frame is warranted of a major earthquake potential and danger for the New Zealand region. It must be noted that one of the largest earthquakes recorded in New Zealand's history, magnitude 8.2 earthquake, struck in 1855 near Lake Wairarapa. This event was so huge that it uplifted the land around 6 to 10 metres at the bottom end of the North Island, and it must be noted that on this same day of this earthquake we have the Earth-Mercury-Sun planetary alignment. Now, further supporting this potential for the New Zealand mainland for the North Island are a series of planetary stations involving Neptune in 2023 over the Wellington Fault, Saturn in 2025, and also Venus in 2025 also share a very interesting dynamic with planetary stations focused over the North Island, New Zealand. If we look back prior to the major quake across New Zealand, the Lake Wairarapa earthquake of 1855, we have a Saturn station over the northern portion of Lake Wairarapa 6.5 years prior to this major event, and the Saturn station of 2025 is almost in the same geolocation on the Earth, just to the southern side of Lake Wairarapa, but an interesting symmetry nevertheless. Now, I did mention in the previous month video I was concerned of the west coast of North America receiving a strong quake due to the Uranus position with the lunar node. It's important to note that the lunar node makes a conjunction on the 4th, on the same day of the Uranus-Mars conjunction. This conjunction could set off the Uranus energies of the previous month, so we do need to closely watch the first week of the month, the west coast of North America, for a possible event. Now, looking towards the end of the month, there could be another major earthquake event or geophysical event to follow. Sun-Earth-Jupiter makes an alignment on the 29th of the month on the same day of the major planetary square of Mars and Venus, and just 2.5 days prior we get Saturn reaching its station retrograde point. We did have a major planetary parade in January of 2026, and I made a forecast video covering the potential for a major X-class solar flare, and we got that. And note that we have a 5-way planetary alignment on January 10, which involved Jupiter, Earth, Sun on one side, and on the other side of the Sun we have Venus and Mars connecting into the Sun, forming a 5-way planetary connection. In the month of July, specifically July 29, we get the inversion of this, where we get the Jupiter-Sun conjunction. I do feel we could get 2 earthquakes greater than 7 magnitude in the month of July of 2026. And the second time frame of note will be July 26 through 29, where we could see a major event. And the 2 areas of focus, if we use the Sun and Jupiter geodetic line, would be the Dominican Republic on one side, and the other side could be the Central Java, Indonesia region, and these 2 areas could be at risk for a strong event. Now, I did make a public forecast video regarding the Indonesia region and a possible volcanic eruption for either Mount Slamet or Mount Sumbing in Central Java in either 2026 or 2027. I will leave that link in the description box for those interested, as well as on this page. And this could mean a possible event in the month of July based on this symmetry linking back into January, and also the reconnection of Sun and Jupiter in July. Now, we've already had a major event in Venezuela in June of 2026, a catastrophic event with a major loss of life, and we could see something quite similar in the month of July, so definitely a month we will need to closely watch and monitor, as there could be 1 or 2 earthquake events greater than 7 magnitude. So I do feel that the New Zealand region could be at risk for a strong quake, and some strong shaking also could be possible towards month's end for Australia, potentially for Northern Territory as well. These videos are exclusive content for members and subscribers of EarthSignals.com. In summary, there are 3 major conjunctions in the month of July that could see major geophysical events. Mars-Uranus conjunction on July 4, Mercury Inferior Conjunction on July 13, and the Sun-Jupiter conjunction on July 29 all pose risks for major events globally. All templates used in this video are contained in the EarthSignals.com Global Earthquake Forecast newsletter, which is available at EarthSignals.com. And for this month, I'll be allowing free access to this newsletter for those interested. The link will be in the description box and on this page. Now, the amazing geometry of the January 10 planetary alignment will be showing its teeth again in July. If we have a look, we have a major 5-way planetary convergence involving the Sun, Jupiter, Earth on one side, and 6 months later on Earth's orbit, Earth moves through that planetary alignment on the other side of the Sun, which involves Venus and Mars. And when Earth does this, Venus and Mars are in their own planetary alignment, this time opposing the Sun, whereas previously they were in conjunction of the Sun, which is an amazing symmetry when you consider the mathematical movements of the planets themselves. So the July 13 timeframe not only has a three-way celestial convergence, but also has a planetary echo tying back from January 10 of 2026 as well. And just a reminder, I have merged over the solarwatcher.net and quakewatcher.com websites into one place, and that is earthsignals.com. The new website is a fantastic creation by a gifted website developer. I will leave his link in the description box for those interested as well. That concludes this planetary forecast video covering the month of July of 2026. For more information, please visit earthsignals.com, and thanks for watching.